video, I'm going to talk about the teaching of algebra. Pupils in primary schools will have done some topics involving algebra. They will certainly have done some substitution into formula for area and perimeter. They may have done some simple equation solving, and they may have done some pattern spotting, building up patterns of numbers and then writing a rule using X or N to explain the rule. But it will be at quite a basic level, which is good. Other pupils will not have had that experience. So again, you need to make sure that you understand exactly where your Year 7 pupils are coming from and what they understand. Equation solving is something that pupils can do intuitively for simple equations. X plus 7 equals 12. They can readily work out that X equals 5. Now, you want to start embedding good rules of setting out of equations right at that stage. So you have to explain to them that actually you must write your working out down carefully. As we know, as algebra becomes more complex, pupils may tackle those more complicated equations if they have got the basics right from the beginning. So go backwards. I like to start with what I call the shopkeeper's dilemma, which is the investigation at the end of chapter 10 of Core Mathematics. In this one, we have to work out what the shopkeeper has to choose for weights in order to weigh different amounts. From this investigation, children really start to get the idea that an equation is a balance. You talk about those old shopkeeper's balances, and perhaps even borrow one from the early years department and show them that what you must do to equation is the same thing to both sides. I have sat through far too many lessons when the teacher glibly quotes, "change the side, change the sign." That is incorrect. That's not how you solve equations. It might work for some equations, it does not work for more complex equations. So throughout the books, the chapters on equation solving build up the step-by-step points of how equations become more complicated, starting in core maths and then going on to raise them quite sophisticated mathematics in additional mathematics. It's important that you test your understanding of what I call the pinch points. When you start having negatives as well as positives on each side of the equation, how do you make sure you go straight to the fastest route of solving it? Where are the problem with negatives? Because if you divide by a negative number, it changes which number is bigger. So therefore, change the sign does not work. And when you go on to dealing with inequalities, that doesn't work at all. So really important that the rule you say to your children is what you do to one side, you must do to the other, and teach them the basic steps of equation solving. But look out for the pinch points. Once you've got negative numbers sorted, then you've got more than one x term on each side, then you've got brackets, then you've got fractions, and when you combine fractions and brackets and different terms, then actually we're getting into some really quite sophisticated mathematics, which your children will fly with as long as they have got the fundamentals well embedded right from the word go. So if you ever see any of your staff saying change the side, change the sign, remove them from your department.